Incorporated.
Welcome to the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, your weekly voyage into Florida fishing. Presented by Hubbard's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
Good morning, Tampa Bay 970 WFLA Talking Fishing. Going to be here until 8 o'clock. Unfortunately, only until 8 o'clock. You know, normally when I look through the glass, I often wonder to myself, what did that
poor soul,
what did that guy do during the week that he got punished and had to do
the Saturday morning
show with us? Why did he have to get up early? What did he do that made John Momola so mad that John put him on the schedule to do the fishing show? And then today I come in, and as I walk in the building, I cruise by John Momola's office, and I notice one of two things is happening. Either John Momola left his office open yesterday, or he didn't have anyone to punish, and he's joining us this morning, which is the case. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, fellas. How are you?
Oh, good.
Good. No punishment at all. It's okay. I'm typically up at this time anyway, so.
Are you?
Yeah, typically.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, about 5 hours, typically about, normal sleep time every night, so.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, you can sleep. 5 hours is good. We're on the the same page, John.
There you go, yeah.
You're a 5-hour guy, too?
Minimally, or maximum.
Really? 5 hours.
Yeah.
Well, you have little kids, though.
2 under 2, man.
Yeah.
Or 2 under 3. I got to stop saying that.
Yeah.
My son's almost 3, but it still feels like 2 under 2.
Yeah, 2 under 3. That's crazy. Well, good to have you, sir. John Momola in the house. His will be the first voice you hear. If you give us a call this morning, your questions, comments, fishing reports, feel free to bring them right here, 1-800-969-9352, the only number you need to know. Lots of stuff to cover today. Full moon's coming.
Beautiful
tide,
weather.
Yeah, that tide was rocking. The weather is beautiful. I don't remember the last couple of Mays feeling this comfortable. I guess it was probably just warmer, more humidity. I don't know what the deal was, but I feel like this spring has kind of stayed a little cooler, which I think is helping us.
Yeah, definitely staying a little cooler. I mean, we're still getting fronts that are touching our area, and we're in, mid-May now. So it's definitely been a little bit longer of a prolonged cold front season, which I think we deserve because we went through such a rough and windy spring. Yeah. I mean, March, April this year really lived up to that kind of typical windy March, April. We had a very, very long cold front season. Yeah. But on the backside of last year, we had gorgeous weather in November, December. I think this last December was probably the nicest December we've ever had. And remember, if you listen to the radio show from back in December, we were talking about how we were worried it was warming up too fast and we weren't having a hard enough winter. Well, we definitely got it. and it definitely got windy. We definitely got those fronts, and now it's kind of prolonging it later in the year. But that's what's funny, because a lot of people are like, well, what's the best time to fish? What's your favorite time to fish? And it's hard to put a date on it or tell anybody with any certainty this is when the bite's good, because it all depends on weather and weather patterns. And for example, hogfish, they bite better in cooler months, and I tell people like October-ish through end of April-ish. But this year they ended pretty early because it warmed up pretty fast. So it just it's very interesting how trends can change, and now we're all the way into hurricane season.
Tarpon season.
Yep.
I tarpon fished last night, and with the operative word being fish. I tarpon fished.
You didn't tarpon catch?
I didn't tarpon caught. We did not tarpon caught yesterday. There wasn't quite as many fish as I was anticipating on this moon. With Boca Grande being fired off, we just don't have our fish yet. There's some fish.
We had that north wind for like 3 days. I figured that would bring some fish up the beach.
The weird part is that there's a lot of fish to the south. The word is down towards Longboat. There's a pretty big nut of fish down there, south of Longboat. And the word I got was almost all the fish that were on the beach were headed south.
Huh.
That's what I said. I'm like, really? We're coming up on the moon.
Yeah.
When we should hopefully get a crab flush. We've had some rain, although the crabs did not flush good last night, hardly at all. We didn't see any crabs flushing. You would think they'd be headed north to get to the ditch to enjoy that crab flush. Tarpon doing what tarpon do, which is normally confuse us.
Yeah. There has been a few people hooking up at Egmont Key because the ferry boats sent me photos of some tarpon jumping on the front of boats.
100%.
Just not a lot of them.
Yeah, it's not that I'm not sitting here saying nobody. Listen, I fished yesterday pretty hard. I went to Bean Point. I got on the water early. Had to pick up some crabs at a local marina. I ran to Bean Point. Quite a few guys fishing. Had some people on the beach down towards Longboat that were fishing from sunup on. One guy, Brian Clark, who made it for me for years in Boca Grande, great fisherman, ate up with tarpon, mad at them little buggers. He said he only saw one fish hooked up all morning.
Holy moly.
And he was on the beach down that way. So, there just wasn't we just don't have that many fish, and the fish that we do have right now just don't seem to be hungry. Overly happy. The fish we had fish literally chummed up behind the boat at the bridge. I was cutting thread fins, which I hate doing, but it just seemed to be early in the tide. I figured late in the tide, it's going to be outgoing. We'll have crabs flushing. I got crabs. Once I start to see the crabs, then we'll switch to crabs. So right now, we got to cut thread fins, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I've got them rolling behind the boat. I just kept thinking, okay, we're in them. I mean, we're doing this right. What No.
It could have a lot to do with the pressure too. I mean, we've had a little bit of a confused weather pattern right now.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. I don't know. The other thing that I noticed was a lot of small fish. Didn't see a lot of big rollers. A lot of fish in that 60-pound class versus 80 to 150 class.
Yeah.
So I know we have something interesting going on the phone lines right now. This could be an emergency situation because Captain Scott Moore is on the line now.
Whoa.
We don't normally go to callers in the first segment, but by golly, we're doing it today because he is Captain Scott Moore. Scott, how are you?
Good morning.
What's up,
Good
buddy?
morning.
And that pressure was high.
Yeah.
It's been high. And the water's clear, crystal clear.
Oh, yeah.
There for a while there wasn't any tarpon.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, boom, wow, right on the moon, right?
Yeah. 100%. That was the weird part to me was I saw fish yesterday at Egmont. I saw fish at the bridge. I pulled into Bean Point, and there was 6, 7, 8 boats lined up. They're all cutting bait. Captain Rob Gorda was one of them. I swung in there, kind of talked to Rob quick, see what was going on. He said there was some fish there. I didn't mark any fish. Never saw any fish at Bean, but, there was fish there. Obviously, there's fish on the beach.
There's been a few fish there, and there's been some fish on the beach. But that Sarasota tournament, there's already been a fish caught with a 41-inch girth.
Wow. Jeez.
So good luck on that one, and really good luck. But, that happened right after that blow, I guess, in the first 2 days. What fish they found was great fishing.
I guess.
That's a monster.
Is there a certain bait, Scott? Nobody knows tarpon fishing on the West Coast any better than you do. Is there a certain early season bait for you? Is it more of a threadfin bite? Is it more of a, what do you prefer this time of year?
It depends if the water's dirty. If the water's dirty, I go to the old school. I'll use a pinfish or a grunt or something.
Okay.
But, with this clear water in the spring, the chumming effect does work. The guys do it. It's a little bit harder on the beach. And then you got the bottom fishermen, the old style. That can be really good early. It can be really good.
Okay.
Because you don't have all the garbage out there on the beach, all the catfish and all the other stuff.
Right.
As it warms up. Dylan, I want to congratulate you. What a great job you're doing with the Florida Guides Association. And I'm hoping those guides out there, they don't realize the opportunity they have, especially the young ones, to join the organization, be a part of it, be a part of the state fishery. And actually, with you, even national fishery, the guys that fish offshore. So you guys that are out there, any of the guides, you want to join that organization and be a part of it.
Well,
you really do.
Thank you, Scott. And we're blessed right now. We have a really, really good active board, a lot of really powerful regional directors. And we get great guidance and advice from guys like you. So always a pleasure speaking to you, and appreciate your advice and guidance as we move forward with the Florida Guides Association. Thanks.
Absolutely. Mike, a lot of those stuff, we had a lot of wind. I just like to see some more pelagic fish. With these are our local fish, a lot of them. What's really nice when you have that heyday year when these fish, they don't visit here every year. Like the wizard Bobby Buswell used to tell me. You don't get the same fish every year. And if you get those pelagics and you get some fish in here that you don't normally have, you can really have a great season on tarpon.
Good point.
I'm hoping, like I said, I ran my first trip last night on that outgoing, what I thought was going to be, pretty sexy, and it was just kind of a dud. But
that water was cool too. Now that water's still a little cool. It may be warm on top. I know the flats fishing has been phenomenal. They have the Causeway this weekend.
Yeah,
that inshore fishing ought to be incredible.
Yeah, a lot of redfish and snook being caught. Still some big trout being caught. It just, like I said, my guys wanted to tarpon fish, and I was looking at the situation. I'm like, we ought to get a crab flush. We've had a little bit of rain. I thought this might be pretty sexy, but not so much.
Yeah.
So.
Well, good fishing, everybody, and you guys keep up the good work.
Thank you, my brother. Great to hear from you, pal. The legend right there, Captain Scott Moore. That's why we went to him immediately. Calling for east winds 5 to 10 today. I think it's going to be pretty light. Going to be a beautiful day on the water for sure, right?
And it's just not going to quit. That's the beauty of it. I mean, this is the first time since probably December that we've had a long 7-8 day forecast of moderate to almost no wind. Nice. And very, very light sea conditions. And that warming trend is going to be slow and steady. It's not going to go right up to the 90s. So it'll be a really beautiful weekend. We got that full moon. Then we have that special lunar eclipse going on Sunday night into Monday morning. So it's not even your typical full moon where you get a bunch of moonlight all night long because of that lunar eclipse. So should be a really, really fishy weekend.
Yeah.
And fishy week, especially on the backside of the full moon. I like the backside of the full moon a lot. So Tuesday, Wednesday, still good currents, still a lot of moving water and beautiful weather conditions. And it kind of settles out. A little bit of a weak high pressure is what's going to continue to keep that moderate condition around us. So I think the fish will be like, for the first time in a long time, able to adjust to something and hopefully settle into some kind of pattern.
Hopefully permits are on your thought process, because if I was going to be here Monday, I would be permit fishing.
Oh, yeah.
These light winds.
This is bay boat offshore weather.
Yeah, for sure, exactly. And we haven't had that much of it, so the opportunity to get out there and hit some of those, hard bottom areas, the wrecks and the reefs and all that, with some crabs. Now that hopefully you'll get a crab flush over the next couple of days, you can score some of those crabs, dip some, so you don't have to pay $3 a piece like I did.
What constitutes a crab flush? Like in John's Pass yesterday morning, I was trying to catch a snook, but it was the wrong tide. I like an outgoing tide for the snook because it makes it easy to cast the dock lines from my dock. The incoming tide's tough in the morning because you can't really get a good angle on the cast with the mirror lure, But I was sitting out there and about 5 in the morning, and it was a lot of crabs moving around. I don't know what constitutes how many crabs per square foot is a crab flush.
Well, I mean, if you're seeing crab after crab after crab, I mean, they're flushing.
I got you.
They're flushing on that outgoing tide, probably.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Now, and that's a weird part. So I heard that, and again, this is just more bizarro stuff. I never saw a crab at the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Terra Verde Bridge. There was some people actually dipping crabs, but I talked to one guy and gal that were out there, and he said they got one.
Oh, wow.
And had been out there for like an hour. Well, that's kind of crazy. But then I heard Blinds Pass.
Yeah.
Somebody was there and got 100 crabs in like an hour.
Well, I can neither confirm nor deny because that's where my big guy makes a living dipping crabs.
Yeah, well,
But,
apparently that was the pass to be in. So, again, different passes, different times, depending on the rain situation, I imagine. All that probably comes together somewhere there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what constitutes a crab flush, but if I'm not seeing the crabs,
that's not a crab flush.
that's not a crab flush.
Okay.
And we did not have a
I'm
crab
glad we
flush.
cleared that up.
Yes. No crabs, no crab flush. That's the way it works. 1-800-969-9352. Light these phone lines up. Again, your questions, comments, fishing reports. Let's talk fishing. We'll be back. Having trouble finding a plumber or an electrician you can trust? A company that is clean, honest,
So by definition, no crabs, no crab flush. If you see a crab, it's a crab flush.
no Krabby Patties, no Krabby Flushy.
You know what's interesting to me though is the snook in John's Pass, at least. My sample size is very small, but in John's Pass, like you would think that you see these little tiny pass crabs, like silver dollar size pass crabs, floating right by the nose of a 35, 37-inch snook. You would think the snook would just slurp it up, but they don't until that certain time of year. It's weird. Like I was watching the other morning, and there was crabs all on the surface going right by the snook. They weren't really messing with them. But like another 3-4 weeks, water starts to get hot. It's like a crab can't go by the dock without getting popped. It's weird. It's like something in their brain switches on. Like, oh, I should eat that crab.
I was fishing nighttime by Gandy Bridge for big black drum. You know, 11 o'clock at night. Half of a blue crab
Oh, yeah.
on the bottom, catching giant snook.
Really?
On half of a blue crab. Like,
That's
really?
funny.
That was funny. I'm like, this isn't fighting like a black drum. That's because it's a big snook. Weird.
That's funny. And if you were to try that for a big snook, it wouldn't work.
Right. Yeah. If you went there trying to catch them, yeah, that would definitely a bad idea.
It seems like the smellier crabs work better for those black drum. Them old trash buckets. With artificials, when do you use soft bait versus hard lures? Or is it just what you like in the moment? Question from Big O.
Big O. I'm much more of a soft plastic guy than I am a hard bait guy.
It's because he's a big old softy.
I am. Whatever, Fluffy. I just, but there's certain situations, like if I don't have a lot of grass in the water, and if I'm fishing, 3 foot of water or more over really lush grass and potholes, again, with no floating grass, then I like to go to the Miridine. We're covering water. If you're seeing a lot of pilchards in the water, a lot of threadfins in the water, then maybe I'll switch to that. I love throwing topwater plugs, but again, usually in situations where you don't have a lot of grass. Otherwise, I'm either rigging weedless or trying to get below that floating grass with a soft plastic. So a lot of it are
situational.
Situation conditions kind of dictate, what we're trying to do.
That makes a lot of sense. Isn't topwater more low light too? You're not
It
gonna
can
throw
be.
that midday.
It can be. A lot of times you don't throw it midday. The certain situations where I throw it midday is if I'm not per se trying to catch fish, but I'm trying to
Spot 'em.
locate. I just want to know if the fish are there. If you're just trying to cover water with a topwater to see if you can get some action. Midday, I need a little bit of a ripple on the water, I think, versus, super calm. If it
For
gets
topwater.
yeah. I like super calm first thing in the morning. Yeah. If you're gonna, or late in the evening, if you're gonna throw a topwater plug, I like that super calm. If you're gonna throw it as the sun gets up, then I like there to be a little chop on the water because it breaks up that silhouette a little bit. It doesn't make it so easy for them to
See, it's a lure.
see it's a lure. Yeah.
Interesting.
So Yeah, and I'm not a top water guru by any means. You know, guys like C.A. Richardson that throw so much more of them than I do, you know, can give you more details on stuff like that than I can, but
That's interesting.
we are rocking out now. I asked for some new tunes. John Mamola's got us. Love that guy. Hey, if you need it,
You like it.
yeah,
Wakes you up.
it does. If you need a new roof or a roof repair, check out our good friends at Affordable Roofing Systems. Again, they understand that your roof is a large investment, protects most, if not everything, that you own. Count on their over 3 decades of experience and roofing knowledge to guide you through this important process. Listen, I just had these guys on the boat the other day, last Monday, as a matter of fact. They're just super, super good people. And to me, it's all about trusting your contractors in today's environment. There's so much work out there and so many contractors flooding into Florida to get part of the explosion in construction here. You know, you just don't know who to trust. Well, I can promise you, you can trust these guys. They've been doing it a long time. Super good people, personalized and professional approach to doing their business. Give them a call today at 1-888-397-ROOF for your free estimate, or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. Got some programming notes. Bull Bay, 10-year anniversary.
Whoa.
10 years.
Time flies.
Bull Bay Rods. Going to be out there at 611 Schoolhouse Road. Going to be doing a 10-year anniversary party next Saturday, the 21st, opening up at 10 a.m. So get by there. If you were at the last party we had out there, did you make it out to that one, the grand opening? Oh,
didn't
boy.
make it.
It was a bash. Let me tell you, Polk County does parties right. They just come in groves of school buses. Polk County. So
And they have good barbecue.
it's going to be a heck of a party. I'm going to be out of town, so I'm going to miss it, but it's going to be a good event. So make sure you stop out there. 611 Schoolhouse Road for the Bull Bay Rods 10-year anniversary party. What else we got going on?
We've got a Bass Pro Shops fishing conversation coming up next weekend, too. 2 p.m. on Sunday, we'll be at the Tampa Bass Pro Shops talking all about nearshore and offshore fishing and giving away free fishing trips, too. So always a good time out there. 2 o'clock in the fly fishing department. It's kind of ironic. We do our offshore and nearshore fishing seminars in the fly fishing area, but that's just because there's a lot of room.
I like it. I get it. And you have such a big following.
I wouldn't go that far.
June 18th, our good friend Captain Sergio Atanas is doing a kids event at Picnic Island, 9 a.m. Kids get free combos. That's good stuff. Anytime you're doing stuff with the kiddos, that's a
I think
big
it's
win.
the first 150 kids get free
Is it?
combos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sergio does a great job at putting on events like that. So that's super cool. And then June 21st, which is a Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m.
Get your deviled crab.
That's right. We are going to be at Bartow Ford for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Conversation. The great Bobby Lane, he of the recent Red Crest Cup win on Major League Fishing Tour, which is like winning a Bassmaster Classic. Bobby Lane's going to be my guest from the great Lane family out there in Polk County that fishes them up. His brother Chris has a Bassmaster Classic championship. So we're talking with one of the best fishermen in the country on the 21st, 6 to 8 p.m. That's, again, Tuesday, the 21st of June. Our good friends at Silver Ring Cafe. Dana serving up the killer Cubans and the stuffed potatoes. The deviled crab, you don't want to miss it. It is going to be
It's worth it.
fantastic. Yeah, we'll have goodies to give away, Bull Bay rods, Ingle coolers, all the goodies, some real animal swag, all kinds of good stuff to give away. So we'll get Hubbard's to throw in some stuff too, just because they're the wonderful people at Hubbard's, Marina. So.
Yep. And we forgot last time.
It's all good stuff. All good stuff for sure. So lots of good stuff coming on. Again, we're on the full moon here, which is Monday. Fishing is spectacular. I'm anticipating that tarpon bite's just going to pick up on this moon. I think we're going to get more and more fish. Those fish that were down the beach are still going to work their way up towards Bean Point, Egmont.
And the sharks. There's so many sharks
We
on the
do have a
beaches.
shark. We have a shark problem. There's no doubt about that. That's a great topic too for today. Lots of guys complaining to me yesterday about how bad. I had a guy come up to me while I was cleaning the boat last night at O'Neill's after my tarpon trip and was like, "Dude, what's up with the sharks?"
It's crazy.
You got to tell me something. You're Captain Mike. You must know. I'm like, yeah, we got too many sharks. That's the problem. No doubt. 1-800-969.
Problem solved.
9352. Oh, I can solve it. They're not going to like my reasoning behind it, but we can solve it. Again, 1-800-969-9352. Light them up. 970 WFLA. We'll be back. Solve it.
We can solve it.
I got firearms. Every
Yeah,
time
man.
one
The
slips.
shark thing is a big problem offshore in federal waters, too. At the last council meeting, there was a whole day-long shark depredation workshop. But the problem is sharks aren't managed by federal management. So a lot of people look to the council and blame them for the shark problem. Shark is managed as under HMS, or highly migratory species, and another branch in NOAA fisheries. And those people, it's a whole department surrounding sharks and Atlantic tunas, like bluefin, yellowfin tuna, swordfish, billfish, all that kind of stuff. And the shark people, man, the rebuilding plans, I mean, in my opinion, we can 100% blame this shark problem on Discovery Channel and Shark Week. If you watch Shark Week nowadays, it's a week long of propaganda to the Midwesterner who never sees a shark. And if you watch it, almost every episode talks about how fishermen are overfishing the oceans and we're killing our oceans and coral reefs are dying because of fishermen and all the trash in the water, and we're killing all these sharks, and we got to protect the sharks, And nowadays, you kill a shark, you're vilified. I mean, last time our company killed a shark, we got death threats, and kindergarten teachers had their kindergarten class writing us letters about how we're terrible people. Like, I mean, it's this, the culture has shifted, and the sharks are so highly protected by the NOAA Fisheries HMS group because they have so much pressure from the general public. If they were to open a shark fishery and some commercial longline boat went out there and long-lined a bunch of sharks and brought them back in, I mean, those people could be killed. It's crazy. The environmental lobby groups that are surrounding sharks have so much power. It's like sea turtles, man, or manatees. It's become one of those
they
things.
get money. The problem with those big groups, just like PETA, you got some idiot like Jimmy Buffett and all these whack jobs. Guy Hart. Dude, you guys are clueless, completely clueless at what you're talking about. They don't have a freaking clue.
Yeah. Guy Harvey did a really great job with conservation on billfish, but he kind of messed up with the shark thing.
They just don't get it.
Now they're eating all the billfish.
Yeah, they just don't get it. It's just, all
We
these
definitely have a
all
shark
these
problem.
celebrities that have too much money and have to do something with it, that live in, a big mansion in California and have never put a single foot in the water anywhere in the world, and then they pile drive a bunch of money into PETA and those morons, and it's just a debacle of idiots.
So long story short, that's the problem with the shark thing, is we have just too much pressure, public pressure, and public outcry. Like a rebuilding plan for red snapper, when a fishery is considered overfished and you have to then create a rebuilding plan. That's part of the Magnuson-Stevens Act. It's law. So if it's overfished, you have to do a rebuilding plan. A rebuilding plan for red snapper was like 15, 25 years. For gags, they're talking like 10, 15 years. A rebuilding plan for ridgeback sharks is 678 years.
Wow.
678 years.
Build back better.
You went there. But yeah, that's the problem, is they're overly protected. And ridgeback sharks offshore are the number one problems. The sandbar sharks, that's what we run into the most. And they're just voracious. And it's really hard to get away from them.
I recommend
That and dolphins. Bottlenose dolphins are becoming a huge problem.
horrible. I recommend firearms. I'm not going
The
to tell you what
opinions of
I'm not going to tell you what I recommend you do with them, but I just recommend firearms. You play the game from there.
you can figure out the rest.
High-powered rifles at sea, it's not a bad choice.
What does Mahoney always say? Muzzle flash solves everything.
That's right. Yeah. When in doubt, run from the muzzle flash.
Yeah, sharks are definitely crazy.
It's called time to thin the herd.
I heard in Tampa Bay you guys are having a lot of problems with
Horrible.
dolphins too.
Horrible. Sharks too. The sharks are thick too.
Dude,
Bridge is covered in sharks.
My grandmother passed away, and we had to do the memorial the other night. We did it right. We did it where we're supposed to do it, and we're anchored up doing the memorial, and sharks are on the surface. So we start doing the memorial, throwing out the rose petals, doing the ashes, and it's beautiful, sun setting. And all of a sudden, there's like a school of bait pops up, and you see some mackerel working it. There was 30 sharks on the surface.
Yeah.
I was like, holy moly.
They're bad this time of year because of the mackerel. I think the mackerel get that blood in the water from
Yeah.
cutting them baits in half, and the next thing you know, you got sharks everywhere.
And you see sharks around the mackerel schools and bait schools. That's normal. But it's not normal to see them out of the water like that, cruising both fins out of the water, like just chilling. And there was more than one of them doing it. It was crazy.
They breed like rats too.
Yeah.
The problem with sharks is they breed like rats. So if you're not thinning that herd, man, they just take over the planet. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, firearms. Just saying.
Yeah, the problem is that a couple sharks aren't going to do anything.
If you're out there enough, you got enough ammo. Could be more than a couple quick. If everybody get on board, we could just put some horns on them. You know what I mean? I thought it was a big buck. My bad, dog. Woo! These things might get deleted.
Marina. Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Welcome back. Phone lines are open, 1-800-969-9352. Talking Fishing, going to be here until 8 o'clock. Love to hear from you, what you're catching. Maybe you were out there on the water last evening for that outgoing tide. Maybe you saw something a little sexier than I saw. It was a little, it was a beautiful night.
Are you
really.
referring to the fishing as being sexy or the tide?
Fishing.
Okay.
Well, to me, it's just a sexy place, man. When you get out there on the water on a Friday evening.
It's like the 20th time you've used that word.
Is that a bad thing?
It's quite the adjective to
but it is,
refer
dude.
to
It's
fishing.
so beautiful out there. I mean, we had such a gorgeous day yesterday. We really did. The water's clean. Like Scott was saying, the water was clean. It's tarpon season. It wasn't too hot. We had just enough breeze. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
No, I agree with all that. Just that I just wouldn't choose that adjective.
Early May tarpon season when it's still not cooked.
The water's so clear you can see bottom in 35, 40 foot.
Again, it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I love to see. I really expected to see a lot of people. That was the other weird part about. There wasn't a lot of people out.
Yeah.
Friday night. Well, that could be it.
It's going to keep some people off the water this summer. I think
That could be. I mean, it's. Let's not. I'm avoiding. I'm avoiding that rabbit hole. See, I've been doing this a long time, John Momola, and I'm learning. You have to see those pitfalls coming, and you have to avoid them.
You're learning. This is new and improved, Mike.
This is.
Okay.
We're not going there. We're going to go to the phones, and we're going to talk freshwater fishing with our freshwater guru from out there in beautiful Lake Alfred, out at Ron's Tackle Box. Ronnie, how are you this morning?
Doing great. Let me tell you, the bass fishing is on fire right now.
Nice.
A lot of great bass. Been transition going deeper. So right now they're feeding heavy, getting ready to go to the brush piles and what have you. But worm fishing is going to be great from now all summer. Lipless crankbaits. But we've seen quite a few fish, 7-8 pounds this week. And like I say, use a Cinco-style bait, wacky hook it. A vibe tail bait's good. One of the better baits right now is a vapor shad, which is a fluke and a bass assassin bait. The color is northern minnow or electric shiner. Them two colors are unbelievable.
Nice.
Just put a 3-aught hook in it and throw it out there.
Nice.
It's great.
The
A lot of
3-aught
bluegill
worm hook.
fishing.
Fish
is great. Your shellcracker bluegill, they'll be bedding all summer. It's a good season coming.
Let's fly back to your fluke here before we get off the fluke thing too far. Are you fishing that with weight then? As the fish are moving deeper?
No weight at all.
Okay.
Nice.
No weight.
Moving
Just,
slow.
stick a 3/0, like a circle type hook, and just kind of throw it out and dart it. Just kind of dart it, and it works real well.
Nice.
But the two colors that have been the favorites, what I was telling you, they have been on fire with them.
Okay, that's cool. Interesting. Some of
course,
those baits, some of
Purple
those
bait,
flukes
my
have that.
Booyah royalty, which I can't get any, but that's still working well. The people that have them, get out there and use it. It's been great.
That's
Got a
awesome.
man standing here right now uses it. He's been on fire with it.
Very cool.
Ask him if I could have a couple of his.
He's not sharing. Ronnie, you gonna share any of your baits with Captain Mike? Nope.
Without hesitation.
That's a negative, Ghost Rider. Okay.
No sharing. Nope.
Okay, be that way. Polk County's so friendly.
What's the big bass this
Oh, yeah.
week? What was the big one?
Right at 8 pounds.
Okay.
8 pounds.
Good
Solid.
fish, yeah, real solid.
Yeah.
That's a good
But
fish.
it was windy, so there wasn't a whole lot of people that got to go out. But the ones that did, they did great.
That's cool.
Because there's a lot of smaller lakes around here you can get out of the wind.
Yeah.
Looking for those
Today's a
wind-
nice day. They're lining up out here in the parking lot right now, ready to go.
Well, good.
beating down the door.
Beating down the door.
Yeah.
554 lakes.
Captain Mike, he's got to call you back. Yeah, Ronnie says, he said, you got to call me back.
Time to go. Time to go. I hear you. Tell everybody how they can find you out there, Ronnie, so you can go to work.
All right. I'm at 380 South Lakeshore Way, which is 1792 out in Lake Alfred. Phone number 863-956-4990.
We appreciate you, brother. You are my freshwater guru. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, guys.
All right, partner.
See you, buddy.
Be good.
Great week.
All right, partner. Here it is right there.
That guy in the background was like, hang up that phone. Ring me up. I'm trying to get on the water.
I don't even know who Cap Mike is, but I'm tired of you talking to him. So let's move it along here, pal.
I feel like everybody right now is heading out on the water, strapping up their boats and making their way, if they're not already on the water.
Well, we haven't had that many.
Gorgeous sunrise.
We had, like you were saying earlier, with the windy conditions we've had.
And it seems like it's been falling on the weekend.
Yes.
It has not been a really nice weekend in quite a while.
Yeah,
So
we've got one there. We've got one right here on top of us, and that's a good thing. So it should be good out there. We're going to have good moving water a couple days here before the full moon. It should be excellent.
excellent.
Yeah, it should be. Lots of bait. I noticed
Get to the boat ramp early.
in buzzing around yesterday before my trip, just kind of checking things out. I was amazed at the bait. The bait on the beach, St. Pete Beach, is covered in bait.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and the weird part was, I was looking for some thread fins. I wanted to have some cut threadies and some live threadies in the boat. I always like to be prepared. Make sure you have pinfish, crabs, everything, because you just don't know what the tarpon bite's gonna give you. So one of my buddies said, "Hey, if I were you, most bait I saw this morning was on St. Pete Beach." I'm like, "Well, heck, I'll run up St. Pete Beach. I want
Right
to
on the
check out
sandbars?
tarpon." Yeah, I mean, we were in 10 foot of water just outside the swim buoys.
Wow.
It was choked. But and the weird part was, I thought throwing on it was going to be, I'm like, "Oh, look, thread fins. That's what we want. Let's go get some of those big thread fins. This is perfect." Well, as we got there through the net, it was pilchards, it was pinfish, it was sardines,
Nice.
and thread fins all mixed together.
Oh,
And good size. Yeah, I was like, well, there it is.
one and done.
Yeah, one and done. Exactly. It was like,
Beautiful.
okay, we are in good shape. We have a plethora of opportunities here to serve them up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was. But even my mate Cody, who was with me yesterday, Cody said, "Hey, there's bait everywhere. Like every flat we ran by, everywhere there was dimpling going on.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that was just from the calm conditions, but it sure seemed like,
Dimpling. I've never heard it called that.
dimpling on the water. You never heard them dimpling on the water?
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like it's raining.
Yeah, it
That's-
does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bait showering.
bait.
Showering. That's what I've always called it.
I like dimpling.
Okay. Teach their own.
It's all good. But, yeah, it seems like there's bait everywhere now, all over the flat, on the beach, obviously
offshore.
by the bridges.
We're
Yeah.
seeing it. That bait is really thick all the way through 40, 50, 60 foot of water, and we're seeing it mostly on the bottom to about mid-water column.
Okay.
But it was really interesting on that Yamaha trip that we did last week. Trolling, we're getting a ton of mackerel, but it's really right now, at least, from the Johns Pass channel all the way to about 35 foot of water, 30 foot of water, and you'll see the bait show on the bottom. You'll get near one of those little ledges or a little pothole or a little rock pile, and all of a sudden there'll be a huge spike of bait hanging on it. And as soon as you go over it and watch that go past you on the machine, boom.
Fish on.
Yeah, fish on in the back on the planer. It was almost uncanny. Every time you see any sort of relief, big old spike of bait on it, mackerel was biting. So they're really, really focused right now on that bait that's hanging on those reliefs. Any sort of relief or structure is holding a lot of the bait, and it's holding those mackerel.
Has it been mostly Spanish, or have you seen some kingfish?
Almost
too?
exclusively Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah. I caught a monster white grunt or gray snapper on my flat line during the Yamaha trip. I was very impressed. bit a huge blue runner, like a 14-inch blue runner, got it out there on the flat line. The first stop, we got all set up. I'm like, all right, I'm going to throw out a flat line, maybe get a big old kingfish, get some excitement going, throw out this blue runner, make a drift, and reel it in. I'm like, something's not right. And comes up to the boat. I'm like, what is going on? Sure enough, big old gray snapper came up and bit the trailer hook on that blue runner.
Wow.
And reeled in a probably 14-inch white grunt or gray snapper on the backside of the flat line. It was impressive.
Nice.
They just love me
So,
as much as I love them.
speaking of impressive, just a rundown on my week. I ran a trip on Monday, and I pretty much sucked it up. It was pretty brutal. We caught some fish, but it wasn't what we were looking to do. I couldn't get across. We had all that wind Monday, super breezy. Couldn't get across all the fish I wanted to get to. We scratched out a day, caught a handful of nice snook, got into a grouper bite, caught some jacks. But anyway, I left the marina and went straight to Crystal River, spent the night at the plantation, and then Tuesday I was scheduled to do a shore lunch show with Captain William Toney. I had never done the shore lunch thing. It's real popular up there in Citrus County. And William had said, the bite was okay, it wasn't great, but I think we can scratch out some fish. So we went to work trying to catch some big trout for this shore lunch. And you're drifting over these rock piles in just outside of Homosassa there. And we got an 18-inch mangrove snapper.
Holy moly.
On a jerkbait in 2.5 foot of water.
Oh my goodness.
That's what when he stuck it, he was like, dude, what is that? Like, it blew by the boat. Like, it ran at us and went under the boat. He goes, I think that's a snapper. I'm like, dude, that's a snapper?
That's crazy.
In 2.5 foot of water. All I could figure was it's the rocks.
Yeah.
They're structure oriented, and those rock piles are just everywhere.
He was lost.
He was. It was, well, actually.
An 18-inch fish. That's crazy.
Here's the weird part. So he's like, we got to drift that again. We caught a couple of nice trout off it, too. We got to drift that again. We saw a giant school of mangrove snapper on that rock pile.
Huh.
I'm like, that's insanity.
That's really nuts.
That's what I thought. I thought, really? Water was crystal clear. I mean, you could see them plain as day.
You might have stumbled upon an early spawning aggregation.
Oh, look at you diving into the science side.
Could have been a spawning ag. You never know.
So it was sexy.
Was he rode up?
I don't know. I wasn't there for the cleaning process. I wasn't paying attention. I was getting stuff ready for the shore lunch.
9 out
I
of
will
10
tell you
was
this.
rode
That
up.
shore lunch thing is cool. You fish all...
Fresh fish, there's nothing better.
Dude, it's phenomenal. And the way he did it was incredible. Hush puppies, bacon. Oh. Yeah, bacon, hush puppies.
And we're back to food.
Guava jelly, homemade.
Guava, what?
Homemade guava
Bacon,
jelly.
guava jelly, hush puppies, and nice mangrove snapper.
Homemade coleslaw.
Stop.
Mangrove
Stop
snapper
it right now.
and speckled trout, all fried, crispy. Seriously. And wickles. You ever had a wickle?
No idea what that is, but I'll eat it.
It's a wickle. A wickle, it's like a pickle, only it's called a wickle. And it's like a sweet, spicy pickle that they sell at Publix, I guess, called a wickle. And I was like,
get some today.
he brought a jar and he goes, "You're going to take the rest of these home. I promise you, you'll like them." Normally, I don't like sweet.
Did he let you take any guava jelly home?
I got the guava jelly too, Don.
Son of a sailor.
Yes, I got the guava jelly too.
Oh, that sounds good.
And it was delicious. On top of the Hush Puppy, this is what he did.
If I book a trip with Captain Tooney right now, do I get bacon guava jelly?
You can do a shore lunch trip. He does these. This is his special.
Does the guava jelly come with it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, I don't know
Just
if everybody
checking.
gets to take one home. I put him on the TV
That's
show.
what I was asking.
I put him on the TV show, so I got. But seriously, so a fresh Hush Puppy, spoonful of guava jelly, and a piece of bacon on top, and you put it in your mouth.
Please stop.
Seriously,
This is like torture.
we need a breakfast sponsor.
This
John
is like
Momola.
torture.
We need a breakfast sponsor.
One that has guava jelly.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. All right, save us. Phone lines are open. 1-800-969-9352. Game 7 tonight, right? The Bolts, that's tonight. Game 7.
It's going to be interesting.
It is going to be
Toronto.
interesting. In Toronto.
My wife's a hockey fan now.
Those rat bastards. Rat bastards up in Toronto. All right, we'll be back talking fishing on the other side, 970 WFLA.
There really is something to be said about fresh fish because, like, eating like on the Mrs. Hub, the 55-foot Hatteras, we have like one of those little propane grills. So we were on like a 63-hour trip. Caught a nice big yellow edge grouper. Had a chunky yellow edge. Oh my goodness, on the grill. The big boats have those flat iron grills. Eating a fresh piece of fish right there. One of the best things I had was on a 39-hour. It was a 12-hour night trip. We were catching a bunch of those squid that time of year. I think it was late summer probably when you get all the squid up on the surface. And we're using squid jigs, and we caught like a dozen of those big squid. Cut those things up, put them on the grill. It's always better on the water.
Really?
Yeah.
Squid.
Dude, you've never had squid?
No.
Calamari?
Well, I've had calamari.
That's squid.
Okay. And what do? You do it the same way? You bread it up and just make your
No,
fresh
we just
calamari?
grilled it. You've never had grilled calamari? Oh man, you're missing out.
Really?
Yes. Tonight, you and Beth should go to Seaweed. It's one of Frank Chevis's restaurants where the old Marlin Darlin used to be.
Okay.
They have grilled octopus, but they also have they sometimes have the grilled squid, but oh my goodness,
Really?
life changing.
And do you eat it the same way, like with a little marinara sauce, or how do you eat it?
No, it's like
Straight up.
Mediterranean. It's so it's grilled, and then it has like this ceviche. I don't know. I'm not a chef. I just like to eat the food. So I couldn't explain to you how it's made. All I know is really, really good.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's Frank Chevis's restaurants all have good steaks, but they have really, really good seafood. And it's a sushi restaurant too. So you can get sushi, steak, and all the normal seafood items. That's why I love that place. And they have a really good bar too.
I'm going to ask our viewers here, our listeners, to predict the game tonight.
The Lightning are
game.
going to win. What do you mean?
That's what I'm asking. What do people think?
Yep.
The Bolts get it done tonight, or what?
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Wow. Thumbs down.
Thumbs down. It's only coming through your headphones.
It sounds terrible to say it, and I won't say it out loud on the show, but I was telling my wife the other night, I'm like, this is the first time in probably 3 years that I watched the Lightning play and didn't think they were the best team on the ice.
I'll tell you this, if they do get past Toronto, they're not getting past Florida. I watched that Florida series every game. They look fantastic.
Wow.
That's like I said. They don't seem to have their legs under them. Even Toronto's out racing them to puck after puck after puck. I'm like, just doesn't look. Normally, the Lightning seems so much faster than the teams they're playing, but not Toronto. Welcome back. Short segment here before the top of the hour. Phone lines are open, 1-800-969-9352. My guess is everyone is headed for the water, which I fully get. Lots of great stuff happening. The trout bite, speckled trout bite, is still super, super solid. Had reports of permit inside the bay. A couple of schools of permit roaming around inside the bay, again, which isn't totally
Where would you
unusual.
target a permit in the bay? Offshore, we're going to be fishing artificial reefs. What do you do in the bay?
I would target them on the beaches around the passes. When you get on the moons, the permits show up around the passes
Like a pompano.
for the same reason. Crab flush. Crab flush. Exactly.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So fish form similar to like
The whole Egmont Channel on both sides, the south end, the north end, up on the edges, on the sandy edges of the I've caught them on Egmont before. I've been up on Egmont on the outside, on the west side, tarpon fishing, just looking for tarpon cruising the beach.
that's a big sandbar on the west side too to spot them.
Oh my God, look at that!
Just a school of permit
School
roll by.
permit roll by, and you just pitch a crab in there, and
It's a monstrous
Giddy up
sandbar
and
to be up on and spot fish from.
yeah,
Especially in a tower boat.
super clear. It's
gorgeous out there.
Clear. Passage Key.
You can also
Bean
take
Point.
the Egmont Key ferry out there and fish from Egmont
Yeah,
Key.
you can. Yeah,
That's
nice
a
plug.
great operation.
Shameless plug. But yeah, I mean, permit. There's permit around. My buddy Brian Clark ran over a giant school. He said he didn't even expect them to be there. He was tarpon fishing and just headed from spot to spot and was like, wow.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Hold on a minute. That's not a school of jacks.
Transition.
Not a school of jacks. That is a school of permit.
The moral of the story is if you're going tarpon fishing, be prepared for permit.
I almost always take a 30-pound class rod with me, something with a little bit lighter leader. The one problem with permit up shallow is that they see really well.
And they're spooky.
Yeah, and you got to be able to make a little bit longer cast, and you might want to have a little bit lighter. If you're using your tarpon gear and you're using a 50-pound leader,
You got no shot.
I don't want to say no shot because I've caught them. But you got to really present that properly. You got to be almost out front and lead them fish. If they're headed in a direction, you need to be out front and lead them and let them swim right to it.
So if you were to
They'll
pick,
eat a shrimp too. There's a lot of times that you can catch them on shrimp. I've caught them on just shrimp out there as well.
so if you were going to pick, you saw the school of permit and you had all the time in the world, what would you rig up? What size leader, hook,
I would probably
bait?
go, depending on the size of the permit. I mean, if I can see it and plan for it, even a 25-pound. Most of the permit that I see around Egmont aren't huge. We're not talking about 50-pound class fish. We're talking, fish in the, 8 to 14-pound range. Good fish, but not
Sounds like a
huge.
big permit to me.
Yeah, well, again, I've never met a permit I didn't like.
Yeah,
It doesn't
true.
matter. I've caught some of my cast net that I thought, oh, look how cute that is. So I like them all. But one of those deals, Let's go to the phones here real quick. I didn't pick this up right away, but we got Captain Justin Moore here quick. Justin, going to you quick here. I got about a minute and a half. What you got, brother? Talk to me.
Good morning. No, I just calling to say hi. Good morning to everybody. Talk a little tarpon etiquette. We're starting our tarpon season here, and I just wanted to remind everybody that everybody can work together, okay? And I think a lot of times you may not be the first one on the beach, maybe the last one on the beach, pass, whatever it may be, and those are everybody's fish to play with. And I think just a reminder that what I do sometimes is say there's 2 or 3 boats on a school, and maybe they're not biting, maybe they are, whatever. I'll sit back and kind of watch, and just there's a way you can go in there, and you might say, hey guys, you mind if I take a crack at these fish? And usually people are cool. It's hard sometimes when you just go busting in there, and people do that a lot, and they wonder why they have a problem, and that's why.
That's a great
Common courtesy.
That's a great call and a great topic for this morning. As we know, that we've been talking about the tarpon season firing off here, so that's a great topic to bring up, and maybe we'll dive into that a little bit here on the other side. I hope you have a great season, my brother, for sure.
Yeah, thank you guys. And the same with, the passes, whether it's Boca Grande or, Egmont, South Wesleyan Point, whatever it may be. Everyone keep in mind there's sometimes not one or two lines those fish get on. Swing wide if you can. Try not to cut in behind people. Even if you see a boat way up further than you think they should be, understand that sometimes those fish go up the bay and you just don't want to cut anybody off. Just try to pay attention and be careful. People running around. I've had some close calls the last few years.
Work
real
together.
quick, I got to give a shout out.
Go. Hurry
to
up.
my dad's this weekend. So
You did what?
We're very. Yeah, my father's turning 70 this weekend.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Justin, we appreciate you, brother. Stay in touch with us. I got to go.
God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Good stuff right there. One of the best in the business. Captain Justin Moore. Happy birthday, Scott Moore. Turning 70. We'll be back talking more fishing on the other side, 970 WFLA.
The preceding program was paid for by Real Animals Fishing.
You don't apologize when it's not John Momola.
I do, actually.
Oh, man. See, I wouldn't have even attempted that.
What? Get him
2
in?
minutes.
Well,
on the
you just,
clock.
I hate to, the problem
Make
with Justin
people,
is
like,
you
wait.
know he's fishing, 100%. It's starboard season. So you don't want him to wait because he won't stay on.
Yeah.
He's such a great fisherman that.
No, that makes sense.
That's why I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try and cram him in here. I don't know what he doesn't call very often, and it's usually when he has something to say.
Yeah.
So
it's just experience and knowledge. That's why. Oh, CNN said Biden is fixing the formula shortage.
oh, he's the best. That guy, I love that guy. Sleepy Joe Biden, baby. He doesn't even know what fucking day of the week it is.
I love gaslighting you. It's so easy. It's just add a little spark and your gunpowder goes.
Such a fucking idiot.
That's funny.
I just don't know how people wake up in the morning going, "Look what we did! Look what we did!" We voted.
Dude, I saw
we
this
voted guy in
T-shirt
office.
that I was telling you about. That T-shirt. Well, this one's the grunt style one, but the American, or it's called American AF Shop on Facebook. You should definitely look it up because it's awesome. But they have this new T-shirt out, and it's called Trading Stocks, and it looks like the Dow Jones ticker, but it's just different firearms and stock sizes of firearms. And like the caption was, if you buy the right stocks, they never depreciate.
So true.
That stock market did not dip. It is still on the rise.
So true. So true.
So funny. No depreciation in firearms, for sure.
Nope. And the way things are going, you should buy more and have plenty of ammo. Because when we decide to overthrow our crooked-ass government, you want to be armed.
Dude, Americans do outnumber. The number of privately owned firearms dwarfs the number of federally owned firearms.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't be good. We just got to find some balls and get it done. Take our country back from these
It'd be
losers,
like the Ukrainians versus the Russians.
loser scumbags.
Dude, I want some night vision goggles. That's one thing I want. They're expensive, man.
Are they?
Oh, yeah. Well, a night vision scope, you're looking a good night vision scope or infrared scope. You're looking at what, 6, 7, 8, 9 grand for a really good one. Try to put those even smaller so they fit over your eyes. They get pricey. My buddy, Captain Jim Green, runs the American Spirit out of Destin. And he's right there by Tyndall, England Air Force Base. Base. and they do a ton of government contract work in slow season when they're out fishing. And recently, he got contracted to run a go-fast vessel up a river, and they outfitted him with the latest and greatest night vision technology to run that go-fast boat up the river. And, dude, he was freaking out. And he sent me images out of the goggles with his cell phone. It was crazy how much you could see in the definition that you could see.
I just had a guy wanting to introduce me to somebody who sells the stuff for the boats.
The Fleur.
No, it's not Fleer. It's I don't know what company it is. He sent me it's in my phone. The guy wanted to talk to me about if I'd be interested in them putting it in my boat.
Well, I found out that this company coming out with this new side scan technology, I was talking to my Garmin guy, and he said that whatever big company it is owns Fleur, who owns Ray Marine. I didn't realize that was the same thing.
Fleer and Ray Marine, yeah.
Fleer, sorry.
It's all right. Yeah,
I thought it was Fleur.
It's all one part of one big family.
Huh.
But
doesn't Fleer have the night vision stuff too?
Yeah, they do. I was supposed to be in line for, I was put on the list of Ray Marine Fleer pro staffers that should get a scope to test.
A hunting scope?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And it never materialized, but it would have been awesome.
Yeah. We just got our new Garmin stuff for the Friendly, and they have that Garmin relief shading stuff on it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, so crazy.
Does Garmin take good care of you?
Garmin does, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, they're really good. I like Garmin a lot. Easy to use.
Yeah.
User interface. It's and it fits well in different. They have a lot of different transducer sizes for the offshore stuff, and it integrates well with our wind plot. So
nice.
Works well.
We have 2 calls at the same time. Holy shit!
Whoa. People are waking up.
I'm blown away.
That's how you know we're back. You can hear the warning.
Management or parent company, iHeartMedia Incorporated.
Welcome to the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, your weekly voyage into Florida fishing. Presented by Hubbard's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
I don't think they trust us because there's always a disclaimer.
That's how you know the show's good, though, in my opinion. If my show doesn't start with a disclaimer, it's kind of, any TV show I watch, they're like, oh, this is not reflect the opinions of this station. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good one. Sit down.
Anything could happen. Anything could happen. Phone lines are open, 1-800-969-9352. Again, the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show. John Momola, the great John Momola, behind the glass here this morning. Light those phone lines up. Let's talk a little fishing. Let's get our safe boating tip of the week in here. Our good friend Captain Jim Fogel joining us, U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary Captain, Exemplary Captain, Leader of Men, Jim Fogel. How are you, buddy?
What an intro.
Called him 2 or 3 times during the program.
There you go. Boost your ego for the whole week. I'm here for you.
Yeah, I like it. Thank you.
What's up, my brother?
Good show today, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I saw an article yesterday, and I think it came from somewhere down south, but it just ticked you off, or got you upset when you think about the environment. There was a big wedding party or some kind of a celebration down in Miami area, as I recall.
Biscayne Bay.
They had balloons all over this boat with helium in it, and they were, hanging off the strings and all. And so somebody said something to the captain or the people on the boat. It was a chartered event. And so then later people went inside, and some mate went out with a knife and busted all the balloons and then dropped them into the water.
Solid plan.
You got, somebody always has a video around. They put a video on them. Anyway, to make a long story short, the captain, the owner of the boat and the groom and the maid all got fined, and at least one of them was arrested, I think, for littering and clogging up the bay. And thankfully, the Good Samaritans picked up the busted balloons and got them out of the water as quick as they could.
Wow.
Crazy.
I'm sure Dylan sees lots of them offshore.
Mm-hmm.
That was just on the news and here in the in the studio. I saw that.
It was on the radio show before ours. They were talking about it at 5 a.m. when I came in the studio.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But they made it, a lot of people that I've been talking to and seeing and kind of the story around it that interests me is that same outrage and fine when you're driving down the road and you see the clown in front of you throw the bag of fast food garbage into the median on the interstate. Or when you drive down the interstate, for goodness sakes, and you look in the median, all the trash there. So I think any polluting.
Same sort of people.
Yeah.
Same sort of people.
And the cigarette butts drives me nuts when I'm driving behind someone and I see a cigarette butt flicked out a window.
Well, you know it's not out. The part of that bothers me, you know it's not out.
Yeah.
Like they didn't stomp it out on their hand.
Oh, they have
to make
enough,
sure it's out.
No, well, that doesn't matter. There's enough chemicals in those things. They go out by themselves nowadays. They're fire-safe cigarettes. They don't start a fire. That's a thing. They added chemicals into it like a couple years ago, where if you don't pull on it, it goes out pretty quick. That's a thing.
At least it doesn't. But they don't kill turtles and seals.
I would not know this. They don't kill turtles and seals.
Oh, facts.
It's great.
It only takes like 75 years to break down in the Gulf.
Way to find a silver lining. Well, it doesn't kill seals.
Right. Anyway, the bottom line is, okay, the balloons can be fun for the kids and all that, but afterwards we've got to secure them and we've got to keep them from floating around in the air and then out into the water.
Amen to that.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, guys, keep up the good work for the Coast Guard Auxiliary in St. Pete. Jim Vogel, be safe out there.
Thank you.
See you.
Good stuff right there. How about that news? Did you see that? Complaint filed to Florida DEP.
That's beautiful.
What do you think they're going to do about it? The wonderful people at DEP.
I don't know.
They're sleepwalking through life.
They kind of let the whole Piney Point thing happen. They knew about it. So I'm sure they'll be really active on whatever this file.
It was so funny.
is.
I pulled up to ICAST last year, which is in July in Orlando. And just as I pulled in, a lady got out of a vehicle like 2 spots to my left. And she closes her door, and it's the Florida DEP lady. I couldn't get out of my vehicle fast enough to track her down. I'm like, I'm going to have a field day with you, lady. You'll probably get back in your car and leave. You won't even stay at ICAST so I can get my hands on you. Seriously, the Department of Environmental Protection. What a bunch of losers y'all are. Whack job.
So you excitedly got out of your truck to accost this woman and try to make her cry.
And she was gone. She like ran. She saw it. She was like, oh, that's a charter captain from Tampa. I got to go. Yeah. I've never seen a lady in heels move that fast in her anywhere at any time. Like, I'm out.
If you approached a woman in a parking garage, I'm sure they're running no matter.
It was a wide open parking lot, dude. It was daylight. Come on, dude. You know, I was dressed nice. I was going into meetings at ICAST. I wasn't, I mean, I couldn't risk bludgeoning her or anything. I mean, I got blood all over my outfit. But seriously, I was like, there's DEP people. I need to talk to you.
There's the reason we have the warning.
Seriously, dude. I was like, oh, my God.
Blood all over my outfit.
DEP. We got to get our hands on those people.
Walking to ICAST, this is fish blood. I was mackerel fishing this morning.
This is what we need to talk about. Oh, let's go to the phones here, reroute this fine program.
Save us.
This is a great Jay Retch would say, the program. Let's check in with Capt. Mike, Big Pine Key. Michael, how are you?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing this morning?
We're good,
buddy.
Wandering through it.
Yeah, we are not on the water. I am actually using my nursing skills. One of Mike Anderson's favorite quotes is, no one in Florida can drive. We were just real quick taking our electric scooters, practicing on them down here, and right in the back of a neighborhood, lady screams up on us and slams on her horn. We were on the right-of-way, helmets and all, and sent my wife over the handlebars, and she looks like she went 10 rounds with Tyson.
Oh, my goodness.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Take a look at the Facebook post of her pictures there when we got home from the hospital. It's not pretty. But But anyway, the fishing down here, talking about permit fishing, the permit are out over the reefs and wrecks. It's usually when the tarpon show up is a good time to permit fish in the Florida Keys, just like Mike said. But we have a different approach. It's, you know, I try to go as light as possible on the leader to get bites. And you lose 2 to catch 1 usually is our ratio. You know, they're going to get back to the high relief structure, whatever you're fishing around, and they're going to bust you off. But it's a different approach. Crabs and shrimp are the best 2 baits we use.
Let me ask you a question about that. So
Sure.
the first permit fishing that I ever did was over some wrecks, and fishing with Capt. Billy Nobles there. Billy always believed that you went with a light drag so that the fish only felt a little bit of pressure and would swim away from that high relief. How do you approach that? Do you approach that differently? Do you like to?
That has been taught to me by the old timers, especially down here. You go as light as possible on your drag and try not to go over 30 to 40 pounds a leader, because one, with the leader, you want them to chew, and you let them pull that drag, and it's, you know, use your hand to cup that reel when they slow down a little bit and pull them back towards you. Another thing too, we noticed, Mike, bringing that up, is they like to stay with the school when they're offshore. They want to be in that school, safety in numbers, even with a hook in them.
Yep.
So that we feel like they're really trying to swim back to that school. And if you let them peel some drag off, you know, they feel safer as long as they can see or they're near the school that they came out of.
Okay. Yeah, it seemed like
absolutely a great tip.
It seemed like Billy always believed that they would swim away from the wreck, and then when you get out there away from the wreck, then you can put the heat back on them, because you don't stand as great a chance of them taking you right to the woodpile. So, just, you know,
it's the same thing for slow pitch jigging. You don't have the backbone to horse that fish up. Like I hook up to a big gag with my 9-aught and my broomstick. I'm gonna put that rod on the rail and put all my weight into it, drop down to one knee if I have to, and put the heat down. But when you're slow pitch jigging, you don't have any backbone to your rod. It's more of a finesse game. You're trying to use the reel just to put as much pressure on them as you can, and you're not trying to horse them as much. So and same thing for kingfishing on a party boat. Our crew lets that drag real loose. You hook up to the fish, you get him hooked. Once he's hooked, let him run. Get as far away from the boat as he can, so we tire him out when he's away from all the lines. And then once he's nice and tired, then we'll tighten down the drag, bring him in, and stick him.
Interesting. See, I always
when we get a double, I'll have my mate pull the anchor. You know, got the anchor ball, so we throw it and just let the boat drift and try, you know, usually we're anchored up where the drift would take us over the piece of structure we're fishing, and let it drift and let those fish run away. And now I somehow get the boat between the piece of structure and myself, and now I think usually I can get them, especially if we get a double. And when you're fishing them and they're eating like that, you're going to get doubles. You know, usually if you stay anchored, you got to sacrifice one to land one, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Good stuff. For sure.
Absolutely.
What else you got? Quick.
That's
I'm up
about
against
it.
clock.
I mean, the tarpon are here, guys. If you're a tarpon fisherman, they're all tarpon. And real quick, one more thing. Etiquette and tarpon fishing in the Florida Keys. If you're going to bridge fish, 3 sections between you and the next boat. Count 3 sections.
Really?
Do not anchor up within 3 sections. Yeah, it's just a little thing
That's
all the
nice.
captains use down here.
3 sections. Oh, we don't get that here. I can promise you that. You got 3 boats. You got 3 boats per section here at the Skyway Bridge. Wow. Interesting. Awesome. Okay.
Yep.
Good stuff. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you down there, Michael.
Sure, it's 813-434-8086, CaptainMichael47gmail.com, or give Mike Anderson a call at 1-866-GAME-FISH, and he'll shoot you my number. And remember, folks, gas prices are high. People are buying electric bikes, scooters, whatever they can to save money. Be careful on the roads.
Great call, Michael. Best
Guys,
quick
care.
healing to your bride. Yes, sir. Thank you. Good stuff
That
right
was
there.
the safe bicycle tip of the week.
Yeah, safe scootering tip. Yeah, you have to have safe scootering tips down there in the Keys. Them scooters are everywhere.
Yeah,
so.
and motorcycles in general.
Yeah.
I mean, anything small that's not a vehicle, it's not how you drive. It's how everybody else is driving that you got to watch out for. That's what scares me. I always wanted a motorcycle. But I would never ride one.
I've been living here since 1990. I literally drove into the state of Florida January 1st, 1990, coming from Europe.
I was born in 91.
When I left Wisconsin, I had a motorcycle. Loved my motorcycle. Went to Europe, traveled all over Europe playing basketball, enjoyed my military time over there, did not want to do the motorcycle thing over there. When I got here, I was thinking, oh, yeah, I'm going to get a motorcycle. And this was in 1990. And it didn't take me about 3 weeks of driving my car around going, this is a bad plan. This is a bad plan.
Not
if you want to
Florida.
live long, it's a bad plan. It's really a bad plan now with all the traffic problems we have. Totally
Suicidal,
crazy.
borderline.
Yeah, totally crazy. They drive by me and I'm like, oh, that looks like fun. It also looks like a death trap.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. I'm really not. I loved being on a motorcycle when I was a kid. Loved it. But no way. No thank you. Donald in Lutz. Cyrus in Colorado. We got a Colorado phone call. That's cool. Very cool.
Nice.
So, yeah, phone lines are open. You guys are up on the other side. Phone lines are open. 1-800-969-9352. Light them up. We'll be back. Man, I got to throw in some offshore knowledge today. Boom. Boom.
Who's talking?
Donald in Lutz with bass fishing, and Cyrus in Colorado, kayak fishing tourney. Is that the
Yes.
Michael Magley?
Cyrus Dooley, yep.
Michael Magley?
Yep, the Magley tournament. Oh, yeah, maximum eclipse. So from 10:28 p.m. to 2 a.m., it's going to be less than a full moon.
Good.
It's going to be dope because I'm going to finish the live show and be getting home, and the full eclipse is going to be starting.
I'm going to be in Fort Pierce.
Nice.
I'm going to try to call you Sunday night,
Talk snook fishing.
but if I don't,
You'll know why.
because I passed out.
Hey guys, we'll be right back. Right back. Don't go nowhere.
Hi, I'm Benny Jr. at Bartow Ford. No matter how much advertising...
Gotta, every now and again, take a second to get out of this chair. 2-hour show, you know. Unfortunately, only 2 hours, as Mike says. Bill, up in the Blue Ridge Mountains, 45 degrees. Holy moly, that's frigid. The Great White North. Morning, Doug. Morning, Richard. Morning, David, Ron, Greg, Brian, Charlie. Someone said, sexy dimpling. Great words.
Sexy dimpling. I like it. And I worked legs. I did legs yesterday morning, and then spent
that's
the
the
whole
worst.
day on the boat, tarpon fishing.
You have one of those massage guns?
Oh, I do.
Those are
I
life
didn't
changing.
use it, but
Those are life-changing.
I should have.
Nothing is better.
I was a little busy. When I got off the water, I was a little too busy just throwing beers at my face.
Nice. That's always a great thing for your muscles to recover, too.
Oh, yeah, dehydrate them. It's the best. Yeah, it's the best.
I don't know. After all the hoopla last night, I was throwing whiskey at my face.
Oh.
It went very well.
I closed my eyes at I think 10 o'clock even. And I literally, I closed them, and it was 4:30.
I closed my eyes about 1 a.m.
Ooh.
4:30 came fast.
God bless you. So impressive that you are here today.
Fake it till you make it.
I hear you, brother.
I'm going to go nap on the beach today. We're taking the kids to the beach. Be fun. Stay off the water today because there's too many boats out there.
Always.
My wife's like, oh, let's take the boat. I'm like, no, absolutely not. First nice Saturday in 6 months.
Bad plan. Nice tune choices, John Mamola. Did you always do sports talk, John, or was there a time you were just a radio music guy?
My entire career I've done sports talk.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah. These are actually just on rotation, so the computer has a great selection.
It does.
Way to take the credit.
I was just going to give you all the love there. Way to, that's what great leaders do.
Yeah, it's never taking the credit because it's a team effort, including the PCs.
The computer's got our back.
That's right. Let's go.
The great John Mamola in-house this morning, punishing himself, getting up early to join us. God bless him. Let's go to the phones here real quick. Let's check in with our good friend Donald in Lutz. Donald, how are you?
Excellent, Capt. Mike. Hey, I was in the same boat with you. I had a beautiful Indian 100 dirt bike when I was a teenager. Stuff. Then I graduated up to a nice Honda 750. Had that for many years. Right, come down to Florida, on vacation and looking to buy a house here and stuff. Move here, and I see all the crazy traffic, all the construction, sand blowing everywhere. It's like, nope. My kids were babies. So Liz was 7 months pregnant when we moved. It's like that bike is not coming with us.
Yeah, good choice.
I sold that Honda. And that was the last time I had a bike. But last Saturday, my friend Jimmy, he's got that 17-foot Century center console, and he always has me play amateur charter captain for him. His sister came in from Maryland, and she wanted to do some bass fishing. So I took her up to Lake Tarpon, and letting her use my rods and baits and stuff. Got her into a 5-pounder.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Nice pictures of that.
There you
That
go.
was awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's a solid fish.
Yeah, nice job. Nice work.
What'd you get him on?
Awesome.
Yeah, what'd you catch him on?
Swim baits. It's a Gambler.
Nice.
Easy swim.
Okay.
In golden color.
Nice. On what kind of structure? Were you fishing the edges, fishing a brush pile?
Brush piles.
Brush piles.
Nice.
They're already deep.
Swim baits on the brush piles. I like it.
Yep. We tried frogs, nothing. Chatterbait, nothing. Worms, nothing. I said, let's go to a swim bait, and that's where she got it on.
Very, very well done.
That was very cool. And I'm fishing that Michael Magley tournament next Saturday.
Yeah, we're gonna hear about that. We got Cyrus on hold here. We're gonna talk about that. I think on the other side of the break. So poor Cyrus got to hang with us through the break. But we're gonna plug that tournament up. That's a great cause. Michael Magley tournament is a big deal.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool dude.
Yeah, good stuff.
Doing what he does.
All right, brother. Well, we appreciate the call. Good job.
And I'll see you at the weigh-in.
Take care. Stay safe as always.
Okay, buddy.
Maybe I'll give you a report from the water next Saturday.
Sounds good. Yeah, do that. Give us a buzz. You the man.
All right, you guys take care.
All right, buddy.
Thanks so much, Captain.
Bye, buddy. Bye. The great Donald in Lutz there. Yeah, I don't want to put Cyrus on here real quick. We've got the break coming. There's the tunage.
There's the music.
The tunage in our
it's
ear.
It's like you knew.
Michael Magley, he's the officer, right? The officer that was killed in the line of duty. Yeah, left behind a beautiful family.
Yep.
So I think it's awesome that they They do this tournament. We don't give enough love, I don't believe, to our men and women in blue. So it's always tragic when we lose one serving us.
Yeah.
So it's great stuff they do. We're going to talk to Cyrus on the other side here about the kayak fishing tournament coming up next Saturday. So we're going to talk about that. Hopefully we'll hear from you as well. Phone lines are open, 1-800-969-9352. Light them up. We'll be back. God, I'm going to nap like a big bitch this morning.
Nap and eat. Gonna go get a big omelet and then take a nap? I'm gonna live vicariously through you, so
No, I'm
tell
not
me
going to
yes.
get the omelet.
You're not gonna get the omelet?
No. We're going to. Have you ever been to Bernini's?
I have no idea what that is.
It's an Italian restaurant down in Ybor, I guess.
Mm.
Supposed to be pretty good Italian food, so we're gonna.
We have one of those in our area. It's a Desesto's Italiano. It's right on 66, just south of Park Boulevard on the east side of the road. It's Desesto Italiano. They are incredible. Super small restaurant, kind of more intimate feel. But you go in there, you got to make a reservation. I'd recommend a reservation. Or you can get it to go. Since COVID, they do to go now too. But the guy has been doing it forever. Homemade pasta, homemade sauces. Just absolutely insane.
Nice.
Insane. Really, really good. Well worth it. It's a higher dollar place, but it is one heck of a date night spot.
I don't mind expensive dining if it delivers.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, obviously I'm not made of money for sure, but so I can't just eat crazy. But I don't mind spending money on a good meal.
Yeah, especially a special date night.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
Get some good food.
Yeah, for sure.
Got to keep the better half happy, and it's always nice to enjoy some nice food.
We did Ocean's Prime last weekend for Mother's Day.
It's a solid place.
Yeah. Yep.
Speaking of pricey.
Chilean sea bass. Yummy.
No, that's a Patagonian toothfish.
I know you said that already.
Patagonian toothfish, the ugliest fish out there. Shout out to that marketing
beautiful fillet.
genius. That marketing genius. Patagonian toothfish? No. We're going to call this a Chilean sea bass. And people get mad at me for calling a white grunt a gray snapper. I'm like, listen, a hog snapper is not even a snapper.
No,
it's a wrasse.
It's a hogfish.
A squirrel fish is actually a sand perch. Oh, man. A mangrove snapper is actually a gray snapper with an A. It's a black snapper in the panhandle. And then other people call them goozers or mangroves.
Goozers?
Mm-hmm.
A goozer.
Goozer.
I like that. It's cool.
And if they're over 10 pounds, it's a goozertron.
It's a goozertron?
Goozertron.
Goozertron.
Mm-hmm. Facts. That's the cool part about fishing is everywhere you go, it's called something else.
That's true.
Like think about a gag grouper. So many people called them black grouper forever.
Look
Gags.
at cobia.
Ling.
Yeah. Ling. What a stupid
Mangroves
name.
or
Cobia's
vermilion snapper. It's a mingo in the Northern Gulf.
Mingo.
Blue runner. It's a hardtail in the Northern Gulf. Yeah.
So confusing.
Birds of a feather. Everywhere you go, it's a different name. And there's common names, there's nicknames. So, crazy. So people get all upset that we call them gray snapper. And it's really a white grunt. It blows my mind. I hope they yell at restaurants that have Chilean sea bass on the menu, too.
Patagonian toothfish.
You've got to call it by the scientific name. Okay.
You know what I call it? Yummy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the scientific name for Chilean sea bass. Yummy.
It is good.
Put it over some mashed taters with some carrots and some truffles.
I don't care what you are eating. You put it over mashed potatoes with truffles, it's going to be good.
Game on.
It's like bacon wrapped. You had me at bacon wrapped. It doesn't matter what's on the inside.
Bacon wrapped shoe.
Bacon wrapped.
So good.
I'll eat it. Stuffed with cheese and wrapped in bacon, I'll eat just about anything. Man, I'm hungry now.
Starving.
Every time I hang out with you, I leave the studio just
There you
voraciously
go.
hungry.
We're going to take a hard look at canceling some student loan debt. There you go, idiot.
So, it's like just sitting in here with all these news things on. It's like record inflation, record gas prices, and we're sending all this money overseas. Let's go ahead while we're at it and cancel student loan debt.
Why not?
Why not?
He's got to do something to get your vote, right? He wants the college kids to think he's super cool, so we'll just cancel your debt. Idiot. Seriously, bro.
The thoughts and opinions of the Real Animal Show.
They do matter. And that's why you're viewing. Because you agree.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Robert. Walleye fishing in Lake Erie this morning. That sounds like fun. Walleye. Now, there's another good eating fish.
Tasty. So good. So good.
Donald Waberman said, on Long Island, a speckled sea trout is a weak fish.
That's true.
That's another one.
I thought weak fish was its own.
It is.
It's its own.
Well, that's one of those things. Is a mangrove snapper is technically, scientifically called a gray snapper, whereas a white grunt's commonly referred to a gray snapper. A sand perch is called a squirrelfish, but a squirrelfish is called a razorfish. So there is a such thing as a weak fish.
Yeah, there's a weak fish.
That's a different species of fish.
Right.
But the speckled sea trout are called weak fish
They
in
look
Long Island.
almost identical. But
Yeah. So, like, you catch a squirrelfish. Everybody knows what a squirrelfish is. We use them for bait. But offshore, we catch a fish called a razorfish, and their scientific name is squirrelfish.
Leave it to the scientists.
And the squirrelfish we all know and love and use for bait is actually a sand perch.
So confused.
It's Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Real quick before we go to the phones here, how about our good friends at Affordable Roofing Systems? Again, if you need a shingle, metal, tile, or a flat roof, a repair or a replacement, they're your safest choice. Give them a call today at 1-888-397-ROOF for your free estimate, or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. Don't forget, June 21st, we're back at Bartow Ford for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Conversation.
And there's devil crab.
There's devil crab. Bobby Lane. Dylan's hungry. Bobby Lane, the great Bobby Lane, is going to join me. Food from Silver Ring Cafe. As always, we'll have a ton of goodies to give away. 6 to 8 p.m. out at Bartow Ford. You don't want to miss that one. June 21st, 6 to 8 p.m. Going to be a blast. Make sure you come on out and check us out. Now, let's jump in here with our good friend Cyrus Dooley. Cyrus, how are you, my friend?
Good. Hey, how are you?
Good. You sound like you're tired. You all right?
Yeah, no, I'm over in Colorado. So it's like 5 in the morning.
Oh,
so
okay.
Mountain time.
I got
meant to call in a few weeks ago, but I kind of slept in.
It happens. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I feel that.
Now I'm out active duty Army over here at Fort Carson, Fort ID. And,
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, of course, man, of course. So just calling in about the Real Adventure Kayak Fishing Michael Magley tournament coming up, the second annual Michael Magley tournament. So biggest redfish. Should be a good time and good turnout.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, be a good day. We got a bunch of different people who hop on board as like sponsors and stuff. Got a bunch of raffles. We usually do. Last year we raised money for Stephanie Magley, the wife of Michael, and I think in all we raised almost about $12,000 for her.
Nice.
And then so this year, I talked to Stephanie, and she wants to, she was okay with it. We're going to donate the money to the PBA, to the Suncoast PBA, which is the benevolent fund for the officers.
Yeah.
Like if anything were to happen,
Police Benevolent
and granted,
Association. Yeah.
Let's hope something doesn't happen. But if it does, the PBA takes care of the family, and looks out for them, make sure that they have what they need, And so we're gonna pretty much give the raffle money to them this year. Great cause, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
super great cause.
So, Yeah. So pretty much the structure of the tournament is the biggest single redfish. You know, that's how we've always done our tournaments at Real Adventure Kayak Fishing. It's catch, release. You know, pretty much have to have any kind of bump board will be okay, just as long as it has a bump on it. We take some pretty sketchy stuff as long as eligible, you know, like eligible, you can read it. And so bump board, you know, first place is $2,000, second place is $500, third place is $300. But great, you know, first place prize. It was $1,000 last year, and kind of bumped it up to, you know, $2,000 this year for everybody. So definitely a really good payout, really good cause tournament. It's going to be hopefully the weather, you know, holds out, because we were supposed to have it a couple of weeks ago, back in, well, not a couple, about a month ago, back in April, but it was just lightning and thunderstorming, so we pushed it to May 21st, and hopefully the weather holds out, man. You know, this weekend, next weekend looking pretty rainy so far, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well, here's to hoping, brother. Good job. Good on the plug. We appreciate you getting up early, and now you can go back to bed, my friend.
Yeah, I know, right? You guys have a good one.
Hey, you too.
Appreciate all you guys do for sure.
You bet, Cyrus. Thank you. You too. Keep up the good work, my friend. Yeah, stay safe. All right, brother.
All right, I'll see you guys.
The captain's meeting is Friday, May 20th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. And then fishing is for Saturday morning from 6 a.m. to 3:30.
Are you emceeing again?
Yes.
Nice.
And then the weigh-in is Saturday, the 21st at 4 p.m. to 6:30 at Osprey Bay Outdoors. So you can just join the raffles and donate to Suncoast PBA. And they have really good food.
You're hungry.
I am.
Cyrus reminds me to put a big shout out as well to our men and women service members, both here and abroad, that serve this great country. Freedom certainly is not free, so we appreciate everything they do. Cyrus being stationed out there in Colorado, but we've got a lot of men and women stationed all over the world, and some of them in some horrible, horrible places doing great things to keep us all free and enjoy what we get to enjoy, like Game 7, Lightning hockey.
Tarpon.
Seriously. Tarpon season. Seriously.
And all the great mangrove snapper fishing right now, man. They are biting offshore.
Dude, they're biting good inshore. It's whack.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's unbelievable.
The year of the mangrove.
It is. It's like I mean, normally I don't get fired up for them till late June, you know, where I really start to target them. But, I mean, it's game on right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're thick, near shore, 70 to 80 foot of water. We're seeing a lot of the mangrove snapper, lane snapper, a couple nice red grouper too. And then offshore in deeper water, we're doing really well. Solid mangrove snapper bite and pretty good size to them. Big red grouper, scamp grouper. We're seeing plentiful yellowtail starting to pick up, and the pelagic bite has been on fire lately too, with kingfish, tuna, the occasional wahoo. It's a good time to get out there for sure.
What's the biggest mangrove snapper you've ever seen come over the rail of a Hubbard's vessel?
It was 13 and change pounds.
What?
Yeah, they get big.
13 pounds?
Mm-hmm. Biggest one I've ever caught personally was north of 10 pounds. I forget exactly what it was, but it was a monster.
13 pounds?
Yeah, they get big. The state record's like closer to 20.
What?
Yeah, maybe it's not the state record. Maybe it's a world record. I don't recall, but I remember looking it up like, whoa, they get that big?
Wow.
Yeah. But a monster trophy mangrove is anything north of 7-8 pounds.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, you don't see them bigger.
We've filmed it where we've had 7-8 pounders, one after another, kind of crazy, with Captain Glenn Taylor. I don't know that I've ever seen a 10-pound mango, but
they're out there.
Even a 7-pound mango, you just look at it, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, they're as big as a grouper or bigger.
It's insane. You're like, God, so tasty too.
26, 30-inch fish. It's crazy.
It's insanity.
And there's nothing more fun, in my opinion, than targeting those mangrove snapper offshore.
Biggest one I've ever caught in the bay was 22 inches. And when the customer got him up, I literally kind of fell to my knees laughing. I'm like, because we were catching some good ones, we were like, it was like 18, 17, 19. I mean, I'm like, God, these are huge.
Yeah.
This is great. And then when the dude is struggling, rod's all bent over, and he gets that one to the side of the boat, I'm like, that's retarded.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? This just
crazy.
happened? I mean, 22-inch mangrove snapper. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, man.
Yeah, we get the big ones
Massive.
offshore using pinfish, but we catch them using the thread fins. You cut the head, cut the tail, trim the belly, double snell rig.
What do you mean by trim the belly?
Make it hydrodynamic, release that oil. So especially on long-range trips, we're brining our baits, which really works well for mangrove snapper because it increases rigidity. So, like, for example, if you just use a thread fin that's been frozen, it thaws out, it gets kind of soft and mushy on you.
Yeah.
Whereas if you take that frozen thread fin, throw it in a little 6-pack cooler, layer that thing thick with salt and a little bit of salt water, maybe a little bit of ice, and kind of leave that potion up underneath the bench for your 7, 8, 9 hour ride out. By the time you start fishing, it's melted down and started thawing out, and all of a sudden you get this like brownish purple liquid that's really super salty, and you pull a bait out of there and it's super firm, and then you squeeze it a little bit and it just oozes this oil, and you drop it down and that bait will disappear out of sight, and it's still oil plumes are coming up to the surface like there's an oil spill. Wow. And that's from your bait. And when it gets down there on the bottom, it really works well, especially if we're pre-cutting the bait and then salting it and brining it really heavily. It kind of seals in the moisture. So it makes it more firm, seals in that moisture. You throw that double snell rig on it and works really, really well. Because a thread fin with that big roundish belly on it, it's not super hydrodynamic, and you send it to bottom and your chance for spinning up is greater. I cut them, make them nice and angled, so that way I have a skinny end, and you always point that skinny end towards your weight. So as it goes to bottom, the skinny end's pointing at your weight, and it goes to bottom super hydrodynamically, doesn't spin. Then it gets to bottom and it's presented naturally. Because the difference between catching that 6, 7, 8 pound mangrove and catching that 12-pound mangrove, that 12-pound mangrove's been around the block.
Yeah,
and he knows.
Yeah.
And you really got to make sure you're hooking your bait right, presenting your bait right, and then holding bottom. I think that's the biggest trick to a moderate, intermediate offshore angler and a super experienced angler is being able to feel the bottom, hold contact with the bottom, and then know where your bait is and how it's laid out, and kind of visually picture that in your mind's eye.
Understanding the situation.
Yeah. And moving your rod tip with the boat, dancing with the boat to keep that line just tight enough to feel the lead but not disturb it. Yeah, exactly. Because we're fishing hard bottom, but a hard bottom area has a little bit of layer of silt. And if that 6-ounce lead even rolls over, it creates a puff of sand. And that 12-pound mangrove, that 10-pound gag, they're gone. They're too smart. And you got to keep that lead perfectly still on the bottom in order to get that good quality fish to chew. But you also have to feel the bite. So you got to keep the line tight enough to feel the lead but not disturb it on the bottom. And that's tricky, especially as it gets windy, especially as it gets more rough, boats moving around more. Really tricky not to let that lead bounce. But if you can, that's how you get the big boy.
The more time that I hang out with you, the easier it is for me to understand why I don't catch more big fish offshore. I get it.
There is a little bit of a science to it.
I'm understanding my shortcomings. I'm understanding my shortcomings.
Well, you teach me a lot about inshore fishing.
Things I don't know.
We bounce together well.
Things I don't know, like Captain Dylan Hubbard. Yeah. Very good. Interesting. That's cool stuff. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's really good stuff. And again, your family's only been doing the offshore thing for,
nearly 100 years.
I was going to say
since 1928.
100 years now. So there you have it. That's
yeah,
why,
we're 6 years away from 100.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are you going to do for your 100-year celebration?
I have no idea.
How do you do that?
I feel like we should start planning that, though.
Yeah, you might
someone should be on top of that.
Yeah, you might want to. I'm going to be at that party. That's going to be
that'll be a good one.
Yeah, that one's going to be a dandy. There might be some whiskey.
I can guarantee that, 100%.
There might be some 100-year-old whiskey if we do it right. That's cool.
No,
Awesome.
yeah, and we're definitely excited this year. We got that 79-day red snapper season starting June 1st to the end of day, August 18th. We have gag grouper opening up June 1st for 6 months. This will probably be the last year we see that 6-month gag grouper fishery for a while, so make sure you get out there and take advantage of it this year. We have amberjack open right now. Triggerfish is open right now. Both close June 1st. So if you want a chance at a big triggerfish or a big amberjack, now's the time to do it before June 1st. And then once red snapper season opens up, it gets crazy and trips get more full. And then all of a sudden it calms down a little bit on the backside of red snapper season. Kids go back to school. Definitely loads get lighter, more ability to get out there on the water.
You know what happens at the end of red snapper season?
Most people go on vacation.
We're getting closer to deer season.
Yeah, my head doesn't go there. My head thinks about dry dock. Once we slow down, kids go back to school. We got to pull one of those big boats out of the water and do a lot of preventative maintenance.
Yeah.
And put lipstick on her and get her ready for the next year.
I don't know that everybody understands the amount of work that goes into that.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those boats getting pulled out of the water is extremely costly, and it takes a crew of 10, 15, 20 guys a month and a half to work on the vessel. And we have to do a lot of engine work, sometimes pull the engines out. And it's very, very time-consuming and costly every year.
Every year. Interesting. Yeah. Good stuff. We got one more segment here, wrapping things up on the other side. If you want to jump on board, you got a little bit of time. 1-800-969-9352. I know a lot of you are headed for the water. Looking forward to enjoying a beautiful, beautiful Saturday, which is what you are going to have. Talking a little more fishing and wrapping things up on the other side. We'll be back. 970 WFLA.
World record mangrove snapper, according to the IGFA, is 18 pounds, 10 ounces, caught out of Cocodrie, Louisiana. Thanks, Donald Waberman.
18 pounds, 10 ounces? That's a man
monstrous.
Child. Yeah, that's a man child.
Cocodrie, lot of
great
rigs,
fishing.
A lot of rigs out there. I think that's western Louisiana.
Okay, great fishing out of Louisiana. I think it's western too.
Nope. Eastern Louisiana. West of the river mouth, but kind of right around Fourchon, Venice.
Not far from Venice. I didn't think it was too far from Venice.
Yeah. Freshwater bayou, that area, western Louisiana, is a lot shallower. Cocodrie, that was probably caught on a rig.
We're in Fort Myers next weekend to play ball, and it looks like we're going to be wet. Could get rained on.
I think that's just summertime showers.
She said tropical moisture Friday, starting Friday, next Friday. That's what she just said. Isn't that what you're looking at right here?
Next Friday is the 20th, so no. What I'm looking at right there, that potential hurricane, is not till the end of the month.
She said tropical moisture coming in next Friday. Trust me, I've been watching her.
I don't have it on this side.
You don't need it. You're already friends.
BFFs.
You've already had your moment. I'm still waiting for an introduction.
Well, when we all go fishing, I'll let you know.
Oh, my God. Don't know that I could do that. Don't know that I could handle that. Nope.
Good morning, Michael, Jimmy, and the Jimmy family. Morning, Dennis Tooman. Brian Pooh said the big pinfish get the big mangroves, and that's true inshore, nearshore, and offshore. Often the biggest ones are caught on pinfish, specifically when we're scamp grouper fishing, because you're not using the big pinfish. like that 4 to 5 inch pinfish and you're using lighter tackle, 50, 60 pound fluorocarbon, that's when you get the big mangroves.
Interesting.
Too heavy, too big of a pinfish, you don't have as much of a shot. And you're using bigger hooks when you're soaking a big live bait, so.
Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Don't forget, next Saturday, starting at 10 a.m., if you're out and about, Polk County, 611 Schoolhouse Road, the 10-year anniversary celebration for our good friends at Bull Bay Rods. Stopping out there and check them out. I'm sure they'll have great deals going on for the rods, the apparel, all their gear, food, all kinds of good stuff going on out there at Bull Bay Rods.
Going to be a lot of fun.
Going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get a quick...
They know how to party out there in Polk County.
They do know how to party in Polk County. There's no doubt about it. Let's get a quick fishing report. Let's go to our good friend Joe Gennaro, Titan Plumbing and Electric, the man, the myth, the legend, with a fishing report. How are you, my friend?
Good, Captain. How are you doing?
We're good, buddy. We're good. What you got for me? Talk to me.
I wanted to tell you a little bit about our experience at King of the Beach. So sometimes you learn as much when you don't catch anything as when you do. We had a good game plan, we thought, run out these 2 rock piles, troll over these rock piles, 44 foot of water. It was rough, 3 and 4 footers, really blowing. We got out there, trolled for about 2 hours, didn't catch anything. There was another boat out there with us that was friends of ours, and we had one of the guys on the boat start hurling and getting sick, and then half the guys wanted to go, half of us didn't. We ended up leaving and running around all day long and catching absolutely nothing. And that boat that was next to us caught 10 fish. Most of them were 18 to 20 pounds. They weighed a 28-pounder. I think they placed in the money. And they caught 2 sailfish in the same exact spot where we were at that we left.
Wow. So sometimes what you're saying is sometimes it's best to just stay with your game plan.
Don't run to find fish. If you're on fish, don't run to find fish.
Oh.
Yeah, rule number 1.
We ran to find fish. All we did was drive all over the damn place and caught nothing.
Yeah, I hear you. That's crazy.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah,
That's what it sounds like.
Hey, while I got you here on the phone, that's a great report. While I got you here on the phone, I've been putting shouts out here the last couple of weeks. If you're looking for a new start in the plumbing business, Titan Plumbing and Electric is looking for people, competitive pay and benefits. Joe and his family are some of my favorite people on the planet. I fished him and his kids for many, many years. Now they're super experienced fishermen and don't need Captain Mike anymore, but they catch them up all on their own. So I wanted to put a shout out there for you, Joe. You guys do a great job. You did a great job on our kitchen and on the kitchen side that you also do great work at. So wanted to put that shout out there. If you are a plumber looking to go to work for maybe a new company here, Joe is hiring. 813-933-8010 is the number. So good people, my friend.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Hey, I appreciate you calling and give us a little love this morning. You the man. Say hi to the boys for me.
All right.
All right, brother.
I will. Bye.
Appreciate you. See you. Good stuff right there. Good dude. Used to do a show, a home improvement show right after ours here for many, many years and did a good job.
Oh, that's cool.
Well. Yeah.
Did a radio show?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Joe and his brother did a great job talking all kinds of home improvement stuff. So to me, that's a hard subject to make entertaining on the radio. But Joe and his brother did a good job of it. Super brought in, different people, window guys and different, people to talk about what you're looking for and what to look out for and all that good stuff. So, yeah, super good people. Been friends of mine. I've been fishing him and his kids. His kids were, which of course this is only dating me, but
I was just about to say.
Yeah, the kids were, literally some of the first trips they were just playing in the live well for most of the day, because they just catch a couple of fish and then they play in the live well and Joe and I would fish.
And now they're like 45, 50?
No, they're not that old, you jackwagon. They're Mamola's in there laughing too. You're a jackwagon too, boss. That's not funny. He's like, what? Yeah. No, they're graduated from college though. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Damn.
Touche.
Yeah. Hope you choke on your omelet this morning.
Yeah. Just got to get my stabs in where I can, you know.
I hear you. You see what I put up with John Momola? Man, crazy.
Comic relief.
Comic relief.
We also have not only that great weather coming up, the full moon, but we also got that lunar eclipse happening Sunday night. It starts off right around 10:30, and it'll be a full lunar eclipse by 11:30 p.m. Sunday night, and it won't end until almost 2 a.m. Monday morning. So from 10:27 p.m. Sunday night until 2 a.m. Monday morning, you'll be able to view some part of that lunar eclipse, which will be really, really interesting. So definitely try to make it to 10:30 if you can. I know I am. It's going to be cool to see.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks, John Momola, for coming in, brother. We appreciate you. Great job, as always, behind the glass. Want to put a shout out to the T.A. Mahoney Company Real Animals Radio Show. If you didn't get enough fishing talk, we're going to be over there on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620 tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Check us out there. Make sure you catch D Hubs' show tomorrow night. Going to be on the
8:30 p.m.
show. Yep.
Off the Hook with Captain Hubbard on the Real Animals and Hubbard's Marina Facebook page. Tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m.
I'm going to try and jump on that show as well, probably from Fort Pierce. I'm headed for Fort Pierce tomorrow, do some filming on Monday. So, hey, listen, enjoy the weather, everybody. Tight lines, be safe out there.
And don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy.
We're out.
The preceding program was paid for by Real Animals Fishing.
Shakalaka.
Good show. Not our best. I love that.
But hey, we'll get them next time. I love it too. Pat found that one. I went, that is perfect.
That's us.
Yeah, that is us.
Yeah, that was a good one. All righty. Well, let's go get some breakfast, y'all.
Let's do that.
Thanks for tuning in and joining us. Hopefully we'll see you again soon on our Real Animals radio shows every Saturday morning from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Right here on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook and Real Animals Facebook pages and more. And, of course, on WFLA 970. And tomorrow, 7 to 9, you're going to be there tomorrow?
I am. Okay. We're putting the band back together tomorrow. All three cronies are in there. So
all three. That's going to be a good show. That'll be entertaining.
We'll talk all kinds of nonsense, and it's all good. You want to go get some Waffle House?
No.
Nope. He said no.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
I'm going to go to a mom-and-pop, family-owned restaurant because I shop local.
Oh, wow.
Got him.
You know the people that work at Waffle House here locally are local.
Yeah, they are. But it's still a chain.
They got a great breakfast place on Himes right here up the road. It's really good.
Yeah, but then it would be cold because I can't just go to breakfast myself. I got to bring breakfast home to my wife.
That's a good move.
Yeah.
Smart.
If I went and got an omelet by myself and came home, probably be sleeping on the couch.
I get that.
So Mama's Kitchen right around the corner from the house. I can get that and bring it home.
Mama's Kitchen.
Yeah. But that's my day, and then going to the beach. And hopefully we'll see you guys soon out on the water. This week is the week to do it.
Oh, man.
If you were holding back, stop.
It'll be really nice. Lots of big snooks caught this week. Lots of big toppins.
Big toppins, big snooks.
Big snooks, big toppins.
Mangroves.
Maybe some red fishes.
It's what's amazing is the sheep's head bite's still really good.
I know that is crazy. There's a lot of sheep's head around. That's crazy too. I noticed that too. Some of the rock piles I saw, I'm like, man, we still got some sheepies. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Good transitional period. Hopefully you get out there on the water, guys, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.
You bet.
See y'all.
Are scrambling to feed their infant.
Scramble.